Sabah everybody and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to check out some great cases made by Spigen for our Galaxy Z Fold 3 and Galaxy Z Flip 3. This is TK, let's check them out. Like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos on the channel. So here we have it, Team Spigen, we got you, and of course there's another one at the top of it. It is a very nice, very inclusive package when it comes down to cases. Spigen makes some of the best cases that you can get on your smartphone. Now, just for one full disclosure, I'm a big fan of their cases for so long. I've been using them on my Galaxy Z Fold 2, and it is by far one of my favorite cases because it does protect the hinge. And when I open up the phone, I'm able to actually hold it from the hinge, and it becomes a little bit of an extra grip for me. It does help also raise the phone when you're using it in flex mode, but otherwise it does protect everything that you want. Again, this is the Z Fold 2. Let's check out the Z Fold 3. So here we have them. There's, I think, 6 cases in all. On the right side, we're going to look at the Z Fold 2. So we have here, this is the thin fit one, Z Fold 3 specifically. Then the next one is going to be the Tough Armor. The last one here on the right is going to be the Slim Armor Pro. Now this is the higher end model, specifically, again, all with hinge design. You can see here, hinge cover. This one does not, but these two do. And then on the left side, we have a couple of cases here. Seems like they're for the Flip. This is the Tough Armor for the Flip. This is the Thin Fit for the Flip. And then lastly, there's another one for the Fold, and that's the Ultra Hybrid Clear. So this one we're able to see the device on the inside. Now Spigen did send me these accessories a little bit earlier. This is a 15-watt charger, very nice and very thin. And of course a 45-watt charger. This is a gang charger, USB-C, that not only charges our basically our Samsung devices, but it also charges them to the fastest possible charge point. Meaning if you're running it for the S20, that's going to go all the way to 45. If you're running it and that's the Ultra or the S21 Ultra, you can go to 25, and of course charges the Flip and the Fold very nicely. So let's start off with the cases for the Z Flip. Again, we have the purple Z Flip here. There's the Tough Armor and of course there's the Thin Fit. Now both cases include the adhesive tapes so that you can make sure to actually adhere the case itself to the phone in specific areas so that it does not slip off. There's a big thing that you need to know, that it's not just a you put on the device and you're pretty much done. Now the cool thing about what Spigen does is that they're actually giving you extras. There's already some that are already pre-applied in those specific spots. So in case any of them peel off and they're not right, you can definitely configure them. And of course, let's go ahead and slide the bottom part. The bottom one does the exact same thing. The biggest piece is here and you put them on. Now, one thing to keep in mind when you're putting cases on, you need to be careful. You need to basically slide the phone from one end and snap the one side. So let's go ahead and turn off the display here. And then the same thing for the top, except this one here has a more protection than some of the other cases I've seen, where it actually does cover the volume rocker. So you just need to basically slide it in from one side, snap it on, slide it in, and then of course before doing all of that you should have taken off the adhesive. Once you do this, you pretty much set, and you can definitely see it right there. The casing looks really nice. You're still able to see the hinge. The power button and the fingerprint sensor are still there. Let's see if it's easy to unlock. Let's go ahead, and yep, seems like it's pretty decent. It gives us enough of a space here to actually allow us to use it. Of course, the volume rocker up and down looks good. Very nice, very clean. Again, the dual tone LED flash is showing. The display is entirely used. Well, let's go ahead and close it up. And we can of course double tap and then just swipe up through the actual different widgets. And of course use our smartphone. Looks really nice. Again, this is going to be the thin fit, so essentially it doesn't add any thickness to the smartphone, barely any at least. And of course it looks really nice. And there's still that little gap in between, so we're not getting rid of that yet. Now of course the next case is going to be a little bit better because this is the Tough Armor, so protection level is a little bit higher again. Same thing, they give you an explanation of where the stickers needs to be. These are additional ones that you could use, and of course they already have them pre-applied, and there's a big couple of signs here that says remove. Now these are non-slip materials so that it allows it not actually to move too much, and the adhesive pieces keep it in the case. Now this one does have hinge protection. You'll notice it does kind of collapse and it opens up when you need it. As far as putting it actually on, it's pretty much the same thing. We'll do the bottom part first, snap it on, put it in, and of course push your phone in. Last thing you want to do is bring this in all the way, go into the right side or the left side for me, and then of course snap it on. There isn't a cover for the volume rocker here. This is pretty much open, but you can definitely see right there. Very nice, very thin, looks really good. Wireless charging should have no problem. Bottom fire speaker is open. Everything else is opened up the way you want it. Of course, I didn't mean to turn that on. Closing it very nicely. There is an extra little grip here, so when you're holding the phone this way, you actually have a better configuration to hold it in one hand. So it looks really nice. Very much a flat experience when you put it on the table, and when you close it, of course, you could just close it like a regular flip phone. It looks and just works the best. Now, as far as the Z Fold 3, we have 4 different cases. We have the Tough Armor, the Slim Armor Pro. We of course have here the Hybrid, the Ultra Hybrid, and the Thin Fit. Between all of these guys, you're going to get a slightly different experience. This one is see-through. This one is just a really thin one. Of course, we have the Slim Armor Pro, and of course, one of the best options is the Tough Armor, like the one we saw on the Z Flip 3. Okay, so here we have it, all of the cases outside of their boxes. So we're going to start off with the Tough Armor. This one also includes all of the adhesive pieces that you need. Again, keep in mind these are additional ones that Spigen includes in the package so that you have extra ones. Instructions on where to be able to place these adhesive pieces, they're already applied on the case itself. And the beautiful part about this is that it also provides protection directly for your device. Now, this obviously, the main thing you want to do is insert your device. Before you do this, obviously, if you're doing this permanently, is to install and remove all of these adhesive tapes. If you don't have them on the case, just install the additional ones and you're pretty much set. Get your smartphone, put it in one side, clamp it in on the other side, and you're pretty much set for one end. And then do the exact same thing on the other one, but I recommend you doing it when it's open, not necessarily doing it when it's inside of the case. So you bring in from one side and then you bring in the top, and of course slide it in with the adhesive off, and then at that point you'll have everything kind of configured correctly. Once you have it open, it actually does, it kind of like almost encompasses the casing, so that little protection that we have on the rail, or the actual configuration here, kind of goes inside of the back of this casing. So this piece kind of slides inside. So when you open it, it's pretty much a flat experience. I do apologize for that peeling. And of course, when you have it on the table, it sits pretty straightforward and no issues. It is raised around the camera sensors, so it protects that, as well as it raised around the display. So the display actually never touches the table, and it has a pretty decent lip on it. The protection covers all the way to the top. This area is exposed, but with this being that it is actually slightly raised above it, you could see kind of like the space between it. It should be able to provide some protection on it as well for more of an impact protection. Lastly, looks great, feels great. Does not have a handle in the middle. That's one thing it doesn't have, where we'll get a chance to check out this one, the Slim Armor Pro, but definitely provides the best protection for our Z Fold 3. Now the next one is the Slim Armor Pro. Same thing, adhesive pieces that you just need to be able to take out. And then here, this one actually is 2 pieces, although it does provide full protection for the actual hinge on the outside. It is 2 pieces. There's adhesives the same way. You just need to remove them. And then for this one, we just basically put it on in 2 separate areas. You put the right side in, down, push down, and then you're pretty much clamped in. That actually provides a nice little cover. Again, a little bit raised around the camera sensor. There's opening obviously for the volume rocker and the power button, which is the fingerprint sensor. Same thing, you put in the top side first, and of course, snap it in on the bottom, snap it in, and then you're pretty much set. Again, big difference between this one and the other one is that the hinge is entirely encompassed. You can kind of see it there, it's closed, and it does actually provide seriously the best protection options. It is raised on the outside here for the display, as well as the camera sensors in the back. Now, one thing about this, because this type of protection is there, it doesn't actually go inside of the bottom casing, which means you are going to have, a nice little kind of a holder, kind of like an extra space when you're holding it like this. Your fingers kind of hold against it and you're able to use a little bit of better grip. It does wobble on the table, but when you put it down, and let's say you have it extra, it actually provides a nice little lift for the flex mode when you're using it on your Z Fold. So very nice, very thin. It actually does add some thickness, but it definitely provides the best protection. Whereas if we flip over to the Ultra Hybrid one, this is a clear see-through case. So obviously if you're getting a device or a version of the Z Fold in a nicer color, you're definitely going to be able to appreciate it. For me, it actually mirrors exactly what we have inside. Now, it does provide a better protection for the glass or the camera lenses on the back, as well as a raised configuration here for the front of the display. It does not protect the hinge mechanism on the back, but when you open it up, it does provide us for more of a flat experience. So you definitely get a more flat experience on there, and it looks nice. Wireless charging, reverse wireless charging, not going to be a problem. And of course, gives us a nice little lip here to be able to use to open up our phone. One of the biggest things I've noticed with this is that if you're not using it, because they're so flat and they're so at the same level as on both hinges, that it's better to have something to kind of help us pull it so you're not pulling on the glass itself. Opens up, looks great, let's unlock, and of course, looks the same way. Close it, and again, see-through, everything is there, looks really nice. The only thing is it just doesn't have any hinge mechanism coverage, but it still looks really great and should give you a really nice look to your device. Now, one thing I didn't get a chance to mention is they do include the additional adhesive strips, as well as a glass protector on that one so that you can clean up your display. The last one we're going to look at here is the Thin Fit. This is going to be the thinnest profile available from Spigen directly for our Z Fold 3. Same thing, you put on one top, one on the bottom, there's adhesive all across. But you could see the benefit here. This adds very little thickness to your smartphone, like almost barely any on it. It doesn't cover the volume rocker or the fingerprint sensor / power button, but it does open up everything else at the top. When you have it open all the way, it is flat, it is thin, very, very minimalistic. Now, it does actually do a decent job of protecting the lenses on the back, so you're definitely not having to sit on the table. On the display, it actually is there, but it is very, very thin. I'd recommend probably a glass protector on this one. But other than that, it looks nice. It's a very nice option. So we go all the way from a thin, a low profile case, a see-through case, ultra protection. I feel like this one is the best protection one because it covers the hinge. And then this one is a slightly better profile because it covers the hinge protection when you open it up, so you don't have that bump in the back. And of course, gives us a lot of great options for Z Fold 3. Between all of these cases, the Slim Armor Pro is always going to be my favorite. This is the exactly same design that I used on the Galaxy Z Fold 2. I love the fact that it protects the entire hinge. It opens up, gives me an extra grip on the side when I'm holding the phone. It doesn't provide me a flat experience when it's on a table, but it's something that actually I've gotten used to. Again, I've been using it on the Z Fold 2 for quite some time, so very happy that they released a very similar design like this. Now, if you want it to be a little bit more basically flat, they do provide that option, as I showed you, where it doesn't protect the hinge mechanism entirely, but it does kind of hide away and provides it more of a flat experience. Again, I feel like there's enough options here that can give you best protection as well as also best aesthetics for the Z Fold 3. Now, I ended up using that same exact case on the Z Flip 3. This is the Tough Armor. Again, same mechanism. When you open it up, it actually becomes flat, and then the actual hinge's protection goes inside. Again, you can use the same type of case on both the Fold or the Flip. You'll get the same protection. And that's really the main benefit here. I feel like the opening between the hinge mechanism that's exposed is much smaller, less likely for it to be dinged, where on the Z Fold, it's actually much bigger because obviously it's a bigger phone. My hope is that you find something here that appeals to you and of course can provide you the protection that you're looking for at whatever level you're looking for it. Either be it see-through, thin, really good protection, or maybe more like a 50% protection depending on the design that you want to go for either your Z Flip 3, so here with this guy, and of course our Z Fold 3. Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support. I'll see you in the next video.